No, no. Hello, February. How are you? February, can you hear me? I guess your audio has some problem, maybe.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear, I can hear.
yeah, yeah. How are you? You're fine?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, good, perfect. All right. So here we are with the physics demo, and the first portion is of orientation. Okay.
Okay.
So you were in IGCSE, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So your code is 0625. In
Yeah.
the you know about myself, I have already like given you the
Yeah. Already.
intro. That's why that's not required over here. And after that, I'll move towards the paper pattern of yours, and that is this one. Basically, you are like going to appear in the paper 2 and paper 4, and for the practical, normally students opt for paper 6. It goes like that.
Uh,
Okay. So
okay.
this, and this paper. These are the three major papers that you are like going to appear for. All right. As far as I talk about the paper two is for 45 minutes, and this paper is like only based upon MCQs. MCQs are like
Uh,
asked from all over the question, all over the like syllabus, and you are if the marks are 40, so you will be given like 40 MCQs, and you have to answer them. The paper holds a bit of less of percentage, like it's only holds 30 percentage of the total marks. Okay, so by the time like we prepare
okay.
for the paper 4. Uh, because it's a bit more detailed paper, our paper 2 is like automatically getting prepared, but instead of that, we will be obviously practicing some of the past papers that will contain the MCQs as well. So that portion will be covered according to the pattern. So after paper 2, we
Okay.
have paper 4, right? After paper 2, we have paper 4 that comprises of more of the percentage, and it comprises of 50%, and it is normally based on short and structured questions. The questions will carry around 2 marks, 3 marks, or 4 marks question, and the questions will be short and structured. This structured thing has already been discussed in mathematics. Like the answer of one part is dependent upon deriving the
Uh,
answer of a second part. So normally part-based questions are given, like A, B, C, D part questions are given to you, and each, like for example, it's a question of 4 marks. So there is a possibility that you will be given like 4 parts, and each part would carry 1 marks. So answer of this part would be dependent, would help to derive the answer of part B. So it goes like that. Both papers are like externally assessed, but obviously it carries 80 marks, and it needs more of like practice and more of our time to in order to like formulate proper short answers to the questions. So it goes like that. Then it is based upon practicals, and obviously I'll show you a few of the past papers for that as well. When we are preparing the topics, practical paper is also like getting prepared, and we also solve the questions that are related to the paper 6 over here. Okay. So
okay.
this
Yeah.
is all for the paper thing. Maybe you have information about these things in your school as well, but that is it for it. For example, whenever you are like given an assessment, the paper 1 assessment will be given in the same way. Like you will be offered, sorry, paper 2, sorry, paper 2 assessment will be given in the same way. Like you will be offered MCQs in that paper, and the short question answer papers for the paper 4 will be in the same pattern. Like I just wanted to mention over here that assessment will be as per the pattern of Cambridge. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Just give me a 1 second, February. I just want to introduce, Bita, I want you to introduce yourself. The second person, it's Sherry, or it's I'm not sure about your name. Can you please introduce yourself? It's Sherry, or it's Sharifa, I guess, the name you were telling me on WhatsApp. Maybe your mic is not working properly. Okay, beta, whenever you like find time, you can just come in and tell me about yourself, okay? Because I talked to you on WhatsApp, Sherry, but I'm unable to figure out that whether you are receiving my voice or not. All right. So we'll not waste time over here, and we'll move further towards the exam pattern for IGCSE 0625. And this is like done. And now we are moving towards the syllabus pattern or syllabus. Syllabus for O-level and IGCSE is like same. And these are the major topics. Like we are sharing. You want to contribute something? Sherry, if you wanna say something, you can say it so I can continue with my lecture.
I don't have anything to say.
All right, all right. So I just wanted to know about you, that whether you are from O levels or IGCSE.
Please, I don't get you.
Are you studying in O levels or are you studying in IGCSE?
IGCSE.
All right, IGCSE. So it's the same. Sherry, February is also, sorry, February, I'm pronouncing your name right. February.
You can just say Fab
Fab.
if that's
Yes,
easier.
Fab is
Fab.
perfect.
You
Fab
can
is
just say
perfect. Sorry for that, but Fab is perfect. So basically, both of you are from IGCSE. So all the things that I will be discussing over here will be related to what? IGCSE. So these are the major 6 topics that are written in front of you. The space physics thing was not there like 2 to 3 years back. It wasn't here, but now they have like included it in syllabus, and it will like come in the examination. Each or and every topic that is has been written over here has many of the sub multiple topics. So subtopics will be obviously discussed when we are taking the regular classes. But over here, I have just mentioned the basic topics over here. First is related to motion, force, and energy. Then it's related to thermodynamics, then waves. Basically, if you consider 2 major topics or 2 of the topics that carry most of the portion of our syllabus, not or that topics who are going to like take most of our time when preparing. It's the topic number 1 and the topic number 4. These topics are like important, and they are kind of a bit lengthy as well. So the other topics will also obviously hold importance, but these are not gonna consume most of our time. So that's it for the syllabus thing. Fab, is it clear to you?
Yes, yes, yes.
And I hope, Sherry, it's also clear to you as well. So here are the things, Fab, that I have already mentioned in the mathematics orientation, that you will be provided a link to the to the resources, which will include the recordings to homework and assessments and each and everything. Like everything will be documented over here, and you can access throughout your session to anything like notes if you want to revise them, the assessments and marks. And by the end of the assessments, you will be provided with a proper sheet in which your assessments will be like marked and graded, so you can get an idea about your progress as well. So this is it for the online resources thing. Whenever you if you join the session from 1st of November, on the very day I'll like give you access to the Google Drive. Then this is the homework thing. I already told you in mathematics thing that you will be given homework with a deadline, and homework question will be based on model questions and the past paper questions, and you have to submit your homework within the deadline. Then these are the assessment things. Like we are going to have assessments after every 4 lectures, then after every 12 lectures, then after 3 months, and there is a mock exam. We may be taking 2 to 3 mock exams of the full syllabus just to get you ready for the examination. Our goal is
Yeah.
majorly to, like, you are appearing in May, June 2025. So our goal is to like just finish it by March. Like we finish our syllabus by March, and we have ample like 2 months of time, then around 2 months or 1 month of time to like revise whole syllabus. So it goes like that. Timetable thing I'll discuss with you afterwards. Once you like confirm me that you are joining the session, then timetable also I have to like decide according to your feasibility as well. So timetable can be discussed afterwards. So this was bit of the orientation regarding what we are going to do uh, throughout the coverage of syllabus of physics. If I move towards the demo thing now, it's a very simple topic, and I have like taken out the topic. It's the very first topic of your syllabus, I guess. Yeah, it was the approximately very first. Let me share it with you. So the topic was this one. Okay. Yeah. So it's related to measurements. I guess the chapter 1 of physics is the topic starts with like 1.1 is related to physics. Okay, just give me a second. 1 second only. Okay, so sorry. So the first topic is measurement, and in measurement, we are given a subtopic that is related to physical quantities. All right. So if I move towards the basic definition of physical quantities, I have to first like come up with what is a physical quantity and what is a non-physical quantity. Okay. Do you have any idea about it, Fab or Sherry? If you know anything about these physical quantities, can you please share? Or if I say physical quantity, if you don't know about physical is fine. Do you understand anything from the terminology quantity? Quality, I have written, sorry. It's quantity. Do you understand anything? What is a quantity?
Quantity like amount of something.
Yeah, very right. It's the amount of something. The amount can be in different units. It can be in terms of length. So I say it's in meter or centimeter. It can be in terms of mass. I can say it's in kg, it's in gram. It can be in terms of time. I say it's in second or it's in hour. So it's like that. When we talk about the physical quantities, we first need to understand that what is quantity is exactly. So physical quantities are those quantities that we can touch. Like it's a mass of something, I can touch the mass. Okay, so physical quantities are those quantities that can be measured using some instrument, and we can express that quantity, or we can tell about that quantity in some unit. Physical quantity will always have a numerical value like 20 kg, then it is a numerical value or magnitude. For the numerical value, there is another word that he will be using in the course, that is magnitude. Whenever he says about magnitude, it means he is talking about the numerical value. And there is other thing is unit. For example, there is a block, and I say that the mass of the block is like 50. So this 50 doesn't hold any value unless and until I put a unit with it. Okay, there must be a unit written along with that. So 50 kg makes sense. This like that. The mass of the block is like 50 kg. So I get a sense that yeah, it's in kgs. Otherwise, if I just write the magnitude or the numerical value, then the person to whom I'm telling that the mass of the block is 50, he can think of it whether it is in kg, whether it is it in tons, or whether is it in gram or any other unit. So for describing any physical quantity, we must have, it must be expressed numerically, means it must have a magnitude and it must have a unit. Okay, got it up till here?
Yes.
Okay. So if I talk about the now after that, he has also given you examples as well. Like length is measurable, mass, time, temperature, velocity, all of them are like measurable, and you also utilize them while like uh, solving the numericals. Okay. So if I talk about the non-physical quantities, it's like that they are not even tangible. Tangible means you can't touch them, you can feel them, but they can't be quantified. I can never say that I am 2 kg happy today. I'm never 2 kg happy. It's just the happiness is not measured in some unit, or it's not measured against some numerical value. It just exists as a feeling, but you can't like measure it. Like if I say that Fab is 1000 kg intelligent, then it won't make any sense. That what does that mean, 1000 kg? So these are the quantities. Non-physical quantities are those quantities that can't be quantified in terms of a magnitude or in terms of a unit. You just say that they exist as a feeling, but they can't be measured. These are termed as a quantity, but these quantity can only be felt. Felt means they can only be felt by us. We can feel them, but we can't measure them. Okay, like I say, my mother loves me 2 centimeter. It won't make any sense. So these are not, we are not dealing with these. Physics is obviously going to deal with only physical quantities throughout your syllabus. The quantities that you are going to study are only physical quantities. In your numericals, in your short question, and your structured questions, you are only going to like study the what? The physical quantities. You are not going to study non-physical quantities. Okay, got it?
Yes.
All right. After this, our physical quantities are like divided into two branches, and one branch is derived quantity, and other branch is the base quantity. These are two like branches of the physical quantities. These both base quantities and derived quantities will have a magnitude and will have a unit. Both have magnitude plus unit. Magnitude plus unit, both derived and base. Then what is the difference between them? Basically, base quantities are also said to be fundamental quantities. Like they are the base, or they are the major factor, they are the not factors, they are the quantities that are at the base of deriving all the other quantities. For example, in your syllabus of IGCSE, you are going to like study around 40 derived quantities, right? So those 40 derived quantities are like taken out from the base quantities, right? The base quantities, we say that they are like invented. The person who like first invented them has like given them a unit and a name. So they are by the inventor. For example, if I give you an example that we write English alphabet, it's A, it's B, it's C. Who has told you that it has to be written like that? It's the person, for example, the person who first invented the English alphabets, like made the formulation of these alphabets like this. Now we don't question it. They are like made the standard and we write them like this. So these seven base quantities are seven. Seven base quantities are like the base of all the quantities in physics, and they are like invented by someone, and he has just named them and he has given units to it. So we don't question it. Okay, or I won't say that they are invented and given units, but the name of them and marking them as base is by the inventor. So these are seven, and it's not never gonna be eight, and it's never gonna be six. So standard seven quantities in physics are defined as base quantities. I'll show you those quantities as well. Uh, where are they? This. Let me erase it. These are the seven base quantities. And these are not derived from anyone. They are the fundamental physical quantities. So first is the time. It's not derived from anyone. There is a symbol to time. It's T. And symbol is very specific. Like we can't write capital T. It's small t and it has to be written small t. Like whenever you are solving a numerical and you calculate the value of t, you have to write it like t 2 seconds. The capital T is something related to time period. It's not for this thing. So for length, we use multiple symbols in physics, like we use L, we use X, we use R, and there are many other, like we can also use the symbol S as well. Then for mass, it's always small m, not the capital M. Current can be represented by capital and small. And now you see it's thermodynamic temperature. He is representing it with T. For example, you are given the symbol T and T in an MCQ, and he asks you tell me about the symbol that relates to time. Then you are obviously gonna mark this option. And if he asks you about the thermodynamic temperature or simply a temperature, then you are gonna take the capital T. So symbols are important. Then amount of substance by N, and luminous intensity, it's also written in some books like light intensity. It's referred to be as IV. So these are the symbols. You must memorize those symbols, and while doing the calculations, you must know these symbols. Like I said it before, that these base quantities must be quantified in some units. So these are the standard SI units. Do you know anything about the standard units? Sherry, you can also contribute. Pep, do you know anything about the standard units?
Standard units, like,
SI with
the,
System International
oh,
units.
yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I know some about that,
Okay, you saw who knows how. So it's like that. In 1960, there was a conference. It's just a bit history of it. And in that conference, they decided that all the quantities must be given some standard base units. Okay. The reason for giving a standard base unit was that these quantities, when you are like communicating internationally, or you are like publishing a paper, or it's like some sort of research, then it must be conducted as SI standard units. The benefit of it is that all the countries will be like able to understand, or can be able to, like, it's easy to communicate between different countries. What happens is that it is possible, for example, in Pakistan, we measure mass in different, like we can measure mass in gram, we can measure mass in kg, we can measure mass in tons, and many other different units. Okay, but whenever I talk about publishing a paper, or whenever I talk about doing some international communication, or whenever I'm asked to write it as standard units, I'll always opt for kilogram. So it's just for the ease that when scientists or anyone is like requires any data, he should represent it as per the base unit. So everyone is like able to understand it. And there, for example, if I say I'm doing trade and I send a 50 kg mass over anywhere, okay, so I will be assuming that the person who is going to receive it will presume it to be as the SI base unit. He won't think that, oh, it's the 50-ton mass or it's a 50-gram mass. It's just for the ease of communication or for the ease of working that they have introduced substandard base units. While solving your numericals, there might be there is a possibility that you might be like required to use some other different units, or you might be required to give your answers to the numerical in standard base units. Whenever in a numerical he says na give your answer in a standard base unit, that means that even if he doesn't mention, like he has given me a length in centimeter, and in question he says that give your answer as SI unit, and he doesn't provide me the SI unit, then at that point of time it's obvious for me that I have to give my answer in meters. Okay, so in numericals you might be required for being a student, you can utilize this concept up till only this point of time, that you have to utilize these SI units in the numericals. Okay, you must know the conversions of different units into SI units, and whenever you are asked to give answer to any question in SI unit, you must know that what is the specific SI unit that is related to any specific quantity. Then writing, for example, he asked me to give answer and I write 2 seconds, and then I write mass is equal to 5 kilograms. It becomes a quite a big thing to like write, and it looks a bit awkward. So it's good to like give some symbols to them. Symbols like the base quantity symbols are all specific. Small s is for the second, not the capital S. Small m is for meter, not the capital M. Okay, so you must like keep in mind the symbol, and you must also keep in mind whether it is an uppercase alphabet or is it an lowercase alphabet. So this is it, and you must memorize it. You must have a good command on all the base quantities, and you must have a good command that what are the symbols and what are the units, and how you have to like interconvert different units. Obviously, if the concept of interconversion is like involved in the syllabus afterwards, we will also learn the conversions as well. Okay, but the conversion thing is up till this point that I'm conducting your demo, it's not included. Okay, so these are the base quantities. Now the question arises that what happens to the derived quantities and how they are gonna drive. From these base quantities, I'm gonna utilize multiple base quantities together. Multiple means one, two or more than two quantities together, and then formulate another new quantity. That quantity is like the derived quantity. For example, if I move back, okay, so I say that I mix and match quantities. Which quantities? Base quantities to make a derived quantity. Let's take a very simple example. For example, let's take an example. This is a rectangle, and I am going to derive the formula of rectangle, area of the rectangle. So area of the rectangle, the formula is length times breadth. Okay, length times breadth. Both things are length. We name it breadth, but it's also a measurement in length. For example, it's in centimeters, and the breadth is also in centimeter. So length is in centimeter, and breadth is in. Okay, I will give you example with the standard units. It's not making any sense. All right. So it's in meters and it's in meters. So I say meter times meter comes out to be meter square. Area and length and length. Length is a base quantity. I have shown you in the table that length is a base quantity. So by utilizing these two base quantities, I have derived an other quantity that is area. And area is a derived quantity. Okay. When you derive a quantity, its unit also turns out to be a derived unit. Like m square is derived from the base units. So this is one example of the base quantity, derived quantities that is being derived using the base quantity. All right. For example, if I go towards the table of derived quantities, here some of the derived quantities are like listed. These are not all derived quantities. Obviously, there are 40 are included in your syllabus, and up till you go to master's or PhD level, you will get to know about many other like derived quantities. For example, area I have explained to you in front of you. If I move towards the volume, can anyone tell me the formula of volume? If you know about the formula of volume.
The formula of volume, I knew, but I forgot the way. The
Okay,
volume
is yeah, length times breadth, and
is
breadth times
height.
height. Right. It's height. Very right. So if you look into the detail, these are all lengths. Height is also a length, breadth is also a length. So volume is a derived quantity that is like being derived by using the other base quantity. Other base quantity is length. The unit will be of length will be meter, then breadth will be meter, then height will be meter. So volume unit comes out to be meter cube or cubic meter. So this is a derived quantity that is derived using the length. For example, if you are asked a question in your paper that against volume, tell me the base quantity that is utilized in deriving the length, then you deriving the volume, then you will say that it's length. And the unit is derived like this. The meter is multiplied 3 times, so it turns out to be meter cube. So obviously other quantities will be included. If they are included in the syllabus, we will do them. Otherwise, each and every quantity has a formula, and after that formula, we apply the units of the base quantities and derive the unit. And yeah, that's it. For example, I'm going to show you a few of the past paper questions, how they are going to ask questions regarding the base or derived quantities. Like it's Sherry, you can also contribute. You can also tell me that you are getting my point or not, and contribute in the class. It's a good thing because I'm unable to see you guys like a physical class. So I don't get an idea that if you are able to understand or not. For example, it's a past paper question, and you always look at the distribution, marks distribution. That is a very important thing. Like you have to give your answer as per the given marks. It says that derive the SI base unit of force. You have to derive the unit, and you have to give the answer. It's a 1 mark question. So he doesn't require a very lengthy sort of working from your side. I'll explain it properly, and then I'll also tell you that how much portion will be required. Like, for example, from Newton's second law, we haven't studied Newton's second law up till now. Maybe you have studied in grade 7 or grade 6, but as per the Newton's second law, it's F is equal to ma. Maybe you know that, or maybe you don't know that. Okay, but it's like that F is equal to ma. Force is mass times of acceleration. All right. So this is the formula of force, and from here I am going to like derive my SI base unit for force. So what is the SI base unit of mass? You just if I go back here, look, this is mass, and SI base unit of mass is kg. Okay, so I'll come back here, where this, and I'll put kg against it. So mass is kg. For A, I'm going here. A is basically, better when you start studying with me now, obviously I'll revise all the basic concepts over here. When we study the topic of velocity and speed and each and everything, then you'll get to know about acceleration as well. But it is basically the change in velocity over time. Okay, yeah, if I say simple, it's velocity over time. If you don't know at this point of time, that is fine. Velocity unit is meter per second. Okay. I'll write it like, okay, I'll write it in the other way, so you get to understand. Velocity's unit is meter per second, and velocity is also a derived quantity. It is derived from length and time. So it's a meter per second. And the time unit is second. So it's already in the division, so it goes like that. Meter per second square. This S will come here. So the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. So I'll put meter per second square. You see, I'm not using centimeter per hour. I'm not using any other unit. I am just using my base units over here because he wants the answer in base units. I have written the unit of mass as kg. I'm not writing gram or ton or something else. Okay. So the answer comes down to be kg meter. This second can go up S minus 2. So if he asks you about the SI base unit, then you will write the answer kg meter second minus 2. And if you like read the question very quickly and you saw that it's asking about the unit of force and you have written here Newton. You know, normally in numericals, we are given a 50 Newton force, right? So Newton is like derived from these base unit, and the answer will be wrong if you write Newton. You will be given 0 marks for that. He requires you to derive the unit, the SI base unit. So this is the right answer. Newton will be a wrong answer. Okay, because Newton is a derived unit which holds these units as the base units. You got it? Got it at this point?
Yes.
Till this point?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, Sherry, did you get it? Got it?
Yes.
All right, all right. So this is it for this is the 1 marks question. So for 1 marks question, what has to be now written? For a 1 marks question, you have to write these steps and answer. This working of acceleration that I have done over here is not required to be like written over here. Like if you already know now that the unit by the time you reach end of the syllabus, it will be a 1 second answer for you to give. If I ask you that what is the SI based unit of acceleration, you will be able to quickly say that, yeah, it's meter per second square. At that point of time, you can induce the value of meter per second square directly in the equation. You are not required to write it, derive it separately and write it over here. It's a 1 marks question. This is enough. And write your answer. This working is not required if you already know that. But if something happens and you forget the unit of like acceleration, then obviously you can go back and at some rough space, you can like derive unit of acceleration, then put it in here. Otherwise, this is fine for 1 marks question. No marks for the Newton answer. This answer is right. This has to be written. Okay, let's look at some other examples from the past papers. Okay, so look, this is a 3 marks question. Two of the SI based quantities and their units are mass and length. He has given you example of 2 of the quantities and he wants you to write 3 other quantities. So it's a very simple question with that you can easily get 3 marks from it. So you are not required to write these quantities again over here. It like if you even if it mass is a base quantity and you like replicate it over here, they will not give you marks. So you can write some other quantity, like you can write temperature, and then its unit is Kelvin. Then you can write amount of substance, okay? And then you can write luminous intensity. So from this table, once you like memorize it, na, any other quantity other than length and mass, you can take it out and put it in the question. All right. So this is it for that. This question. No. This question. And now this is another 1 marks question. Let's see. It says, state the SI based unit of volume. Now look at the difference. Look at that. It's written derive the SI based unit of force. The question that we have already done. It's saying derive. That's why I have written the formula and that's why I have derived it. It requires like derivation. So maybe 0.5 marks were for the answer and 0.5 marks were for the derivation thing. But look at here. It says state the SI based unit of volume. Now he doesn't say that derive. So you are not required to like go and do the derivation thing. You can directly write the SI based unit of volume. Like if you already know it, like I know it, it's meter cube, you can directly write it. It will give you 1 marks. But if you are unable to like figure it out, I have just like driven volume in front of you. It will go like that. And then meter cube. But this part is not required. It's a 1 marks question and he is not asking you to derive it. Derivation is not required. You can give the answer directly. Then it says show that base units of pressure are these. Okay, it's saying show that. That means it's similar to derivation. Like we have to prove it that yeah, the SI base unit of pressure are kg meter per meter second square. Okay, do you know the formula of pressure?
Pressure. I used to know, but I
It's
forgot also that.
force. It's the amount of force that is like applied on a specific or a unit area. Okay. So force, and now I'll talk in what? In base units. Just I have derived the base unit of force and that was kg meter. What was it? Per second square? Yeah. Per second square. Okay. If you don't know about the base, then you go into that working MA and then write the values and derive it. And as far as area is considered, I just drove it in front of you that it is meter into meter and then it is meter square. So the base unit of area is meter square and the SI base unit of force is kg meter per second square. So if I just rearrange it, it turns out to be this meter is per second. So it will like go down and this it will like okay, this is meter square. I don't know if you know about the indices or not. I can cut it like this. This meter is like cut from this. There are 2 meters over here. So 1 meter is like cut due to division. So what is left? Kg meter second square is like left. So I can move these 2 upwards. It will turn out to be the power of m is now 1. When it comes up, it becomes -1. Whenever you take any power above from the numerator to the denominator, it changes sign. Minus goes to positive, positive goes to negative. So it's meter -1 and then is this s square becomes s -2. Look, I have proved it. This is the thing that he was requiring me to prove. So this thing is only required. It's a 1 marks question and this is the answer. He doesn't require you to go into the detail, drive the formula of F for him, drive the formula of A for him. No, he doesn't. He only requires you to write over here. If you know it in the paper already, you can write it directly. If you don't know it, drive it then. But this will like give you 1 marks. This was the very small topic of related to base and derived quantities. And this is the very first topic, maybe, or a bit of detail about physics might be given in your book, and after that, this topic starts. So this is it for today's demo class. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay.
All right. Fab, is
Okay,
it fine?
thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Fab, I will be like waiting for your reply. Okay. You can decide and you can tell me. Okay. All right. And Sherry, can you just communicate if you have any questions? Sherry, do you have any questions? No questions?